Hey folks, this is Gray here, and today we're going to look at our Aldi's Prepper Pantry haul and what we spent and some of the prices of the products that we got. So in this video, we're going to kind of go over each individual product and give you guys some of the reasons why I chose some of these products. And we're also going to talk about long-term storage versus short-term storage as we kind of go over some of these products. Some of these products are made for long-term, some of them may not be. Depending on how you have your pantry set up, if you have a long-term pantry or a working pantry or aka short-term pantry where you have a first in, first out situation, which you should have in your pantry in general, I hope that you get some value out of this. And the reason I bring it up is because certain items will store for quite some time. Other items, not so much. Also, the reason I want to bring up the price comparison is I just did a video not too long ago, about almost 3 weeks ago now, from the Dollar Tree haul. And I will link that up here if you haven't seen that yet. But I want to show you that sometimes what you have to do in order to save a buck, especially in the economy that we're in today, food prices are skyrocketing. So everything that you look at here is kind of an investment for you and your family. The best way when you're doing a pantry haul or something similar is to start off small. If you're new to this, you can't have a huge room full of food like this. It takes time. I've personally been working on this specific pantry in this home for almost a year now. To be a year here November 1st. And slow and steady wins the race, as they say. And the reason I like to kind of talk about some of the foods that I get and kind of go into a little bit of more greater detail other than, hey, look what I got. I did a pantry haul, yay me. I like to go in a little bit more greater detail to kind of show you some of the reasons why I chose these and some of the reasons why not just myself, but my family chooses these items. I want to give you guys the best information possible so that when you're spending your hard-earned money, you're not just throwing it away on foods you either do not eat, foods that may not work for you because you have specific dietary restrictions, and if you're looking for something long-term, some things work great for long-term storage, other things not so much. You have things that are very short-term. What I mean by short-term is anywhere from 6 months to maximum 2 years. Long-term is usually 2 to 5 to 10 to 15 and so on. And as usual, anything that I go over here, if you have any questions or any comments, if you shop at Aldi's, where do you find your best deals on foods that you like to store in your pantry? Please put those down in the comments because I personally like to answer each individual comment. Plus, there's a lot of other viewers out there that are just getting into doing something like this, and they want to learn not only from me, but from you, the viewers, who have also been doing it for quite some time. All right, folks, thank you for listening to my intro and my discussion real quick on how and why I got these foods. Now let's kind of go over the pantry haul and look at some of the foods that I got. That I've noticed that I got some things backwards just sitting here as I'm looking at some of the stuff. But we'll go through each individual product. We'll try to move through it quickly. I know some of these videos go a bit long, but I like to be thorough just to give you as much information as possible when making choices like these. All right, so we'll start down here, okay? So taco seasoning, and the reason I'm always thinking about how can I spice up foods, you know what I mean? You know, let's say you're folks like me and you buy like Keystone, you buy a lot of different canned meats and stuff, and you want to add some flavor outside of just say salt and stuff like that. So maybe you want to do some sort of mix, or come on, tacos are great. Who doesn't like tacos? And these were very, very, very cheap. I think these were like 39 cents or 29 cents, super cheap. So I bought a pack of 10 of them. All right, moving on to the fast rising instant yeast. These, again, were a heck of a deal in here. And they come in their little foil wraps, which extend the life of these things individually. You can buy bulk yeast, but it can be troublesome trying to kind of put that for long-term storage, because sometimes yeast has these living microorganisms, or I think it's microorganisms that live in there. And depending on how you store it, you can kill that by storing this improperly. Now, one of the ways that I've learned in the past, outside of just leaving in its packaging, because this will last quite some time, that you can freeze it. But some people say yay and nay, but some of the information that I've read that you can actually keep this for a long time. The reason that we always stock yeast is because of the fact that if you remember during the pandemic, it was hard to find stuff like yeast as well as other products to bake. But all in all, this was a heck of a deal, and I got a lot of it. And some of this that we'll keep on like the pantry over here where we store some of our spices and stuff. And then we'll probably freeze some of this as well. If you guys have any questions in regards to anything that I go over today, please put that down in the comments and I'll try to answer it to the best of my ability to help you folks out. To kind of tie into the yeast, I also grabbed baking powder. Baking powder, for me and the wife, we use a lot of this. My wife loves to bake. And to me, even in this container here, baking powder can easily last a couple of years. And then if you seal this, here's certain things when it comes to baking powder, folks. And I'm going to talk about this in regards to the pancake mix as well. But certain agents like yeast or baking powder or anything like that, when you put that in for long-term storage, the main issue is that if you use something like an O2 absorber, sometimes it'll leave a metallic taste. The iron inside the O2 absorbers will create issues. So usually I would suggest if you're going to put this in some sort of other thing, just use a desiccant, something that's a moisture absorber versus a O2 absorber. Now, some people may say, Grey, that's wrong. But from my experiences, things can happen when you use O2 absorbers in this. That's just from my experience. I'm just letting you guys know everybody has a different process. You don't have to. I always tell people to do further research than just listening to me in this video. Watch multiple videos. Read books. Do anything you can to educate yourself when it comes to long-term storage. All right, so now we're going to move down here to some of the canned goods that we have, and you can see these are cut yams. They were a steal. Pretty much everything that I got on this table today was on sale. I usually look for the best deals and sales that Aldi's has. And they usually have some of the best deals out there, even better than some of the larger chain stores like Walmart, even some of the large big box stores like Costco. Just because you can buy bulk in here as well, you are paying per can, but usually if you break down the price, sometimes you get a steal on this stuff like that. So we ended up getting, I think there's 12 cans there. 3 times 4 is 12. So we got 12 cans of the yams. Being that it is the holidays, and there's always folks that I run into that sometimes just don't have the money for a holiday meal, and I try to help those folks out. Why not have some extra food on hand, especially in a non-emergency time? And if you can make someone's day, make their holiday come together, and just help those folks out, why not? You're going to notice a theme here with sliced carrots, the corn, and think back here is the sweet peas. The wife had said, hey, I noticed that you've been buying lots of different things in the pantry hauls, but we need to get more vegetables. Sometimes the summers here are brutal and our harvests are not that great. And I would love to have some additional things stored in canned goods, because canned goods, you can look at the FDA website, and most of the canned goods, depending on what's in the canned goods, can last almost indefinitely. There's a lot of research out there in regards to canned goods, and that's why you see me with a lot of canned foods, because canned foods have some of the greatest shelf life, if not the best shelf life, of a lot of different things outside of, let's say, some freeze-dried foods and other types of grains and stuff out there that you can store. So anyways, we picked up 12 cans of the sliced carrots, 12 cans of the corn here, as well as 12 cans of the sweet peas. All right, so moving on to, this is basically Aldi's version of Spam. Now, I don't know how many of you folks like Spam, but my daughter and my wife love this stuff. I'm on the fence about it, but as I told them, in a survival situation or in a situation that calls for it, I will eat pretty much dang near anything, even if it's not the healthiest option. Now, one thing, folks, I did want to show you, let me grab these two over here, is if you guys like Spam, before you even buy Spam, I want to do a comparison review of all the different types of major Spams that you're going to find out there. This is Clover Valley, this is Great Value, this is Brookdale, and we'll have the Spam. I want to do a taste test, a comparison of what they look like and price point. And if you guys want to see that video, please let me down below. I've had a lot of feedback and people always asking me, what is the best Spam and which Spam should you buy that has the best texture, the best taste, and the best price? All right, so we ended up getting 5 cans of the luncheon meat there, aka Spam, which most of you folks are familiar with. And moving on from there, let's go to these canned hams. Now, this was a suggestion by many of you viewers out there. They said, hey, Grey, we noticed you don't have any canned hams. We love to stockpile those for long-term food storage, as well as some of our short-term storage. The stuff tastes pretty good, so I'm going to try the Brookdale version of this canned ham. And I'm very excited to try it. I like ham, especially in the morning. And if you can have a ham that's just kind of already pre-cooked and kind of like just cut it open, maybe, add some warmth to it or fry it up, that's pretty cool. Let me see. Let's check the date on something like this. Let me see if we can get that to focus there. Whoops. Let's flip that back around. And this says 9/5/2028, folks. That is literally almost 5 years from now. So this is something that you can store on your shelf, and that's just the best buy date, 5 years. We're in 2023, you had 5 to that, it's 2028. We're in August, September was last month. So just a hair under 5 years, you can put this on the shelf. So great for long-term storage, or if you ever run into an emergency, or like, again, I always like to mention certain situations that arise that you can't get to the store, either be it something bad is happening, you can make an Easter meal out of ham, because a lot of people use ham during Easter as well as other holidays. But all in all, this is a great prep, and I should have been prepping these a long time. I'm going to be grabbing different varieties from different stores, because I always like to compare to find out what is the best. I did buy 4 because they were a heck of a deal compared to some of the deals that I've seen in other places. I've seen these things go up to 10 bucks. This was actually a pretty steal, and so I grabbed 4 of them. I figured that would be enough to get me an idea of the taste for me and the family to try out. All right, folks, now we're going to move to some good stuff. Yes, I know a lot of you folks out there love chocolate. I didn't realize that they actually had some pretty good chocolate over at Aldi's. I never went down the candy aisle because I'm not huge into candy, but I wanted to, specifically dark chocolate. That's what I like. Some people like the milk chocolate, but dark chocolate does have some health benefits to it. I suggest you do some research on it. And then what I looked for in this is usually I try to stay away from any chocolate that says processed with alkali. You can do the research on that. The chocolates that are the dark chocolate that's not processed with alkali is usually your better option. And of course, you can see the date on there, but chocolate stores a lot longer than people think, especially if it's in a controlled environment. And this is a German quality chocolate, so let's give them a try. The Swiss make good chocolate. Why not the Germans, right? And then for cooking, I grabbed some of these. These are 82 or 62% cacao. The Belgian dark. We love to bake, like I said. The holidays are coming, so I figured I'd stock up on some of this Belgian dark chocolate, and I'll explain why here in a second as we talk about some of the other products that we got. And anybody out there who likes chocolate, give this video a thumbs up and drop a comment. All right, so moving on to the next flat, we have garbanzo beans, aka chickpeas, and black beans. A lot of you folks know that I'm from Cuban descent. I love my black beans. We eat a ton of black beans, and black beans have fiber and protein in them, so it's always a healthy snack, at least from my perspective. Now, there's different black bean companies that make different types. Some people may not like the Dakota brand. Maybe they like another different brand of black beans. We keep a variety from the Goyas to the other. I mean, I can't even think of some of the names, but there's a lot of companies out there that make black beans. But I have come to find out that with a little bit of spices that I add to this, some sazon, as various garlic and some onion powder and other things that I add to it, these come out very good. Throw a couple bay leaves in there, bring it to a simmer. Tasty. But the wife wanted me to change up some things because we have a lot of dry beans in our buckets, but she wants sometimes, if it needs to be a quick, let's say during a hurricane situation and she wants to throw a meal together, she wants something that she can just put into a pot and heat up on some, say a propane stove or a campfire, whatever it may be that we're using. She wants to use it and cook quickly. But with chickpeas, she wants to try something different. She wants to see if she can possibly make her own hummus out of these chickpeas. She's been trying to play around with that idea, so she's going to give that a try. So I'm going to start stocking chickpeas for the wife. Happy wife, happy life, folks. Just saying. Some people like when I say that, some people hate it. All right, so let's move over to the quick oats. A lot of you folks may not know, but I'm a huge breakfast person. To me, breakfast is the most important meal of the day, so I look at a lot of different breakfast things. As you can tell here, I'm a huge fanatic for eggs, and I stockpile tons of eggs because just in case, I want to make sure I have eggs in the apocalypse. Anyways, let's look at quick oats. Quick oats, it's an easy, fast thing to put together. In regards to quick oats, you can store these for long term if properly stored in Mylar, vacuum seal, O2 absorber, and do that whole process. I do have oats in there. They're not the quick oats, but I have a bunch of other oats in there, steel cut. They seem to store best. But I grab these because every once in a while, we just like that nice, warm, comfort food. And guess what, folks? You can add some of these dark chocolate in there, or if you had some freeze-dried blueberries, or just fresh blueberries picked from the garden, and make a nice breakfast for you and the family. You folks know that this chicken is awesome. And these big cans, this time, usually I have a lot of chicken over there. as well as a couple other places. But the Brookdale chicken breast, by far, it's very good. We use this for so many different recipes, especially when you're trying to put a quick meal together. Love this stuff. And believe it or not, folks, currently Aldi's had a huge sale on this chicken breast, so I end up buying another flat of the chicken breast. I couldn't pass it up. It's something that we eat on a continuous basis. It is a nice, healthy, meal that you can throw together. Chicken is always full of protein. And to me, this tastes really good. I don't know if you've had the Brookdale version. If you have, put that down in the comments and let me know your thoughts if you enjoy it. What kind of recipes do you do with the chicken? Do you do like chicken a la king, chicken pot pies? Do you do like a chicken kind of sandwich? Do you add it to rice? I'm just curious to what you guys do with some of the foods that I've gotten here. Now, this was interesting. I have never seen this at Aldi's before. Maybe some of you folks have. But they had freeze-dried strawberries as well as freeze-dried apples. So freeze-dried, of course, is always going to last you quite some time. I don't know about the packaging that it's in. I haven't opened it up yet. But freeze-dried strawberries, I can put these in a vacuum-sealed bag, and they would pretty much last for quite some time. There's specific dates that you can look at, depending if it's strawberries, if it's butter, if it's powders, if it's rice. I always tell people, please do your due diligence and research before you put something away for long term. But I thought also, being that we have oats, and we're going to get into the pancake mix here in a second, you can throw some of these in there, and once you add some moisture to them, you're going to have some strawberries. And freeze-dried strawberries do retain some of that good flavor as well as some of the nutrients. It's not the best option, versus frozen or fresh, but it does give you an option to have strawberries year-round. All right, so let's take a look at this pancake syrup here. Of course, the pancakes are kind of hiding back then. I saved those for last for a specific reason. Anyways, there's all different types of pancake syrups that you can use. This is the Aldi's version of their pancake syrup. Some people may not like it has too much sugar. Maybe it has the corn syrup or things that they don't like. Maybe they want a more natural version. Maybe some of you folks have the capabilities to, tap a tree and process your own. There's a lot of different options out there. But in a pinch or an emergency, it would make, if you have pancakes back there and you want some syrup, hopefully you have that readily accessible to you, because what's a pancake without the syrup, right? Just my perspective. All right, so as you can see here, I got 4 boxes of the buttermilk pancakes from Aldi's. And man, does that not look good? It looks tasty. Isn't like the pancakes, like just imagine if you were in a hurricane-torn area or a tornado-devastated area, and you can make pancakes for the people that are help cleaning up the area, or, just some sort of nice comfort food for folks, because people love pancakes. Come on. I know they're not the healthiest option, and you can do different things with wheat and chai and flax and all this other stuff that people like to do, but just some old-fashioned buttermilk pancakes are awesome. Add some blueberries to it, or add some chocolate, some dark chocolate to there, and kick it up a notch. And like I said, you can choose the syrup and the type of butter that you want to use for it and make it an awesome meal for those folks out there, especially for you and your family, especially if you have young children and things are really bad. Giving them some pancakes, folks, will probably make their day and just have that nice, wonderful breakfast for you and your family. All right, so let's talk about pancake. The reason I don't usually buy pancake bulk-wise, I bought 4 boxes, and this will probably last us at least 6 months. Now, pancake in a box can't last easily 6 months to maybe a year or so, depending on the packaging that it comes in. Some of the, when you open this up, if it's the cheap plastic packaging inside here, that is probably not the best option. Now, with pancake, you have to look at some of the different issues with it, because pancake on average, you can probably get anywhere 6 months to 2 years, depending on the way it's packaged. But here's the big deal. What you want to do is you want to look at the ingredients when you look for the pancake mix. So when you look at this, you need to see what type of rising agents there. It says bleach, flour. I'm trying to look if I see the thing. Okay, so it has buttermilk, soybean oil, salt, and so on and so forth, calcium carbonate, which is like a baking powder. But buttermilk, okay? So think about buttermilk in general. So even in its powder form, buttermilk does have fats in it, and it can go rancid depending on how long and if moisture is accessible to the pancake mix, as well as bugs. So what I rather do for pancakes specifically, what I like to do is just get everything that I would need and store them independently. Because again, this has rising agents in it. It has milk in it, or buttermilk in this one here specifically, and different things that all have different long-term storage times. So you can't extend pancake mix out past its best by date. If the milk starts to go a little bad, it's not, let's just say it's not edible, it'll just have a very nasty kind of like a sour taste. And then sometimes the rising agents may not work as well. So that's why when you use O2 absorbers, when trying to put this in Mylar, you may run into some issues. And then you'll have to add your own rising agent to the mix. And another way to test for this is you take a small little batch of this, put it in a bowl, and put some vinegar on it, and it starts to bubble, that you know that you're going to have that the rising agent is still the rising agent is still there in regards to the pancake mix. But if it doesn't, then you're going to have to you know, play around with it and add some to it. There's some decent recipes on a lot of emergency preparedness sites on how to store this, how to check for it, and stuff like that. And I suggest a lot of folks follow up if you're looking to store pancake for long periods of time. And I know some of you folks have asked me about a pantry tour of all the stuff that's in here all around me and all the different things. I got to do some organization, folks, and move things around. I want to show you that. I want to kind of give you where I'm at over this year. This pantry is just about a year old come November 1st. And see what we've done in a whole year. Some folks may not have the capability to do this, and I understand that. This is not, this is just give you guys some ideas and tips in regards to building your prepper pantry. Some people just do food hauls and just kind of just, hey, I got this, I got this, I got that, like, subscribe, and go away kind of thing like that. I like to get a little bit more in depth and just kind of show you some of the reasons why I get some of this stuff. Because if you have a bad harvest, you want some vegetables. If there's a, you know, a shortage of some sort of foods, you know, you need proteins, you need, you know, carbs, you need sugars, you need salts. There's so many different things that you need. All right, so let's go back to me. I'll tell you what I paid for all the food that we went over and wrap this video up. All right, folks, that concludes our Aldi's Prepper Pantry haul. Really looking forward to hearing your comments on some of the foods I got. Do you guys get something similar? Do you prefer different things? Some people may not like certain types of beans. Do you see why I got the vegetables? You know, you just never know when you're going to have a bad harvest if you're a gardener like myself. And if you haven't seen some of my gardening videos, I have a playlist. They're fun. I really enjoy doing them. My channel is very varied on different topics, from reviews to gardens to live streams to pantry hauls to long-term food storage. Please check out the rest of the channel and let me know what you think. That being said, so a lot of you folks are going to wonder, great, what did all this food cost you, and was it a good deal? As you saw some of the prices in some of these cans were as low as like 60 cents or even better. I can't remember all the different prices, but I really looked closely at the pricing versus what I did in Dollar Tree when I was just trying to hit a budget of $100. Now, everything that you see here that I got in this pantry haul was $200.26. Do you guys feel that that was a great deal on the foods that I got? How many meals do you think you could make out of this type of food? And how long would it last you? And is it worth the $200.26 that I spent on it? So please put that down in the comments. I would truly appreciate that. Always look forward to hearing your feedback when I do videos like this. I've had a lot of positive, I say 98% positive feedback, and then there's like the few percent that no matter what I do, always have an issue on what I'm doing or why I'm doing the things that I do. Anyways, if you got any value out of this video, if you can please hit that thumbs up button, would greatly appreciate it. Share this out with other people that you feel that could get some value out of this, as well as drop a comment down below. And if you're new here, please take the time to subscribe, because we do a lot of videos like this, plus a lot of other things. If you are worried about the economy and life in general, as things may happen and progress in this, you know, from wars overseas and, you know, from previous issues like pandemics and all the kinds of crazy things that could happen on little to no notice at certain times, and you want to be prepared and make sure that you and your family are ready for whatever may come down the pipe, even from the simplest thing as loss of a job. Having the food that you don't have to reinvest into already in your, I call this a small grocery store, is very beneficial to you and your family and your loved ones. If you have any dietary restrictions, things like that, just make sure you account for all that, because things that I get may not be what you get, and that's when I look for the feedback. If you enjoy videos like this, I like to hear that as well. So I think I probably rambled on long enough in this video. The video's probably gone way too long, and someone's going to complain about it, so my apologies to those folks out there. But I try to be as thorough as possible. Just remember, folks, you are not alone. This is GreyMan. I'm out. I'll see you guys on the rebound. God bless every single one of you folks out there. And again, thank you so much for watching.